Hello Zenith women, and welcome to the channel. You can't outmaneuver what you don't understand, and a Sigma female. She's an enigma wrapped in independence and sealed with silence. Here's a fact to chew on. While alpha and beta personalities might dominate the spotlight, the Sigma female moves in the shadows, quietly dismantling the rules everyone else is playing by. She's the chess master in a world full of checkers players, and the moment you think you've figured her out, she's already 3 steps ahead. Trying to play games with a Sigma female is like bringing a slingshot to a laser battle, pointless and a little embarrassing. Her emotional radar is sharper than your best strategy. Her independence is unshakable, and her patience for nonsense, let's just say it doesn't exist. So before you even think about trying your luck with her, take a deep breath. Because what you're about to discover isn't just a personality type, it's a force of nature. Number 1. She's not in the game. She's writing the rules. A Sigma female doesn't play the game because she's too busy writing the rules. She's not here to follow anyone's script, conform to societal norms, or compete in popularity contests. Instead, she crafts her own path, one that doesn't fit neatly into any box. While others are scrambling to keep up with trends, impress their peers, or gain superficial validation, she's quietly carving out her unique identity, unbothered by external noise. When you approach her with the usual playbook of manipulation, flattery, or overconfidence, she'll immediately see through it. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. She knows the game because she's watched it from the sidelines, studied every move, and decided it wasn't worth her time. She's not interested in power plays or emotional chess matches. Those tactics might work on someone who seeks validation or fears rejection, but she doesn't need anyone to define her worth or give her purpose. Her independence is her fortress, and her self-awareness is the key to it. This doesn't mean she's cold or dismissive. It means she's selective. She's not here to waste energy on people who don't align with her values or intentions. When you think you're playing her, what you're really doing is running in circles while she quietly watches, unimpressed and unaffected. You don't control the narrative with a Sigma female. She sets the pace, decides the boundaries, and determines the direction. If you can't keep up, or if you try to undermine her, she'll simply walk away without a second glance. Her ability to rewrite the rules is what makes her so fascinating and frankly untouchable. In her world, you don't play games. You show up with authenticity, or you don't show up at all. Number 2. Mystique is her armor, not her mask. A Sigma female's mystique isn't some elaborate act or a mask she wears to impress or manipulate. It's who she is. She doesn't need to fabricate intrigue because her complexity is authentic. Her mysterious aura is a natural extension of her layered personality, and it serves as both a shield and a filter. It keeps out those who approach with shallow intentions while inviting only the genuinely curious to try and understand her. Unlike people who wear personas as a form of performance, the Sigma female's mystique comes from a place of quiet confidence. She doesn't overshare, doesn't seek validation, and certainly doesn't crave attention. She's selective about what she shares and with whom, not because she's hiding something, but because she values privacy and sees no reason to put everything on display. When you interact with her, it feels like an unraveling, a slow revelation of who she truly is. But the truth is, she's not revealing layers in response to you. She's revealing only what she's comfortable with. You might think you're making progress, but she remains firmly in control of what you see and what you don't. This is what makes her so captivating, yet so elusive. Her mystique doesn't beg for attention. It commands it. It's not a flashy, loud allure, but a quiet, magnetic pull that leaves you wanting more, while realizing you've barely scratched the surface. To many, this can be frustrating, even intimidating. But to her, it's simply a matter of being true to herself. She's not hiding, she's protecting, she's not avoiding, she's discerning. You can try to figure her out, but in the end, you'll only understand what she allows, and by then, you'll be hooked. Number 3. She detects manipulation like a bloodhound. A Sigma female has an uncanny ability to sniff out manipulation, and it's not because she's naturally suspicious, it's because she's observant. Over time, she's seen enough emotional games and half-truths to recognize the signs before they fully unfold. When others might fall for smooth words or calculated charm, she's already dissecting your motives, questioning your actions, and spotting the cracks in your facade. She doesn't just listen to what you say, she pays attention to what you don't say. Your tone, timing, body language, and even the inconsistencies in your story are all data points she processes effortlessly. To her, manipulation isn't just an act, it's a pattern. And patterns are predictable. Whether you're being subtle with flattery or bold with guilt-tripping, she sees through it with the precision of someone who's been there, done that, and outgrown it. What makes her truly unplayable is her ability to stay calm in the face of manipulation. While others might react emotionally or get tangled in the web, she remains composed, letting you dig your own hole. She won't call you out right away. Instead, she'll let you think you're winning, all while quietly dismantling your scheme. By the time you realize she's onto you, it's already too late. This isn't about paranoia or distrust. It's about experience and intuition. She's learned the hard way that not everyone comes with good intentions, and she's armed herself accordingly. If you try to manipulate her, the only thing you'll achieve is showing her exactly why you don't belong in her world. She's not cynical, she's just done playing along. Number 4. Respect is her currency. Play it cheap, and you're out. For a Sigma female, respect isn't negotiable. It's the foundation of every interaction she allows into her life. She doesn't thrive on superficial compliments or hollow praise. She thrives on mutual understanding, trust, and acknowledgement of her worth. You could shower her with flattery or try to impress her with grand gestures, but if you don't approach her with genuine respect, you'll quickly find yourself on the outside looking in. Her boundaries are sacred. Disregarding them, even unintentionally, sends a clear signal that you don't value her autonomy or individuality. She's worked hard to build her independence, and she won't let anyone trivialize it. Whether it's dismissing her opinions, interrupting her focus, or trying to control her decisions, any hint of disrespect is an automatic deal breaker. She won't argue or explain herself. She'll simply walk away without looking back. The Sigma female knows her value, and she expects you to know it too. This isn't about entitlement, it's about mutual recognition. She respects others deeply and demands the same in return. If you try to test her patience or belittle her independence, you're only proving that you don't understand who she is. But here's the kicker. Respect isn't just about how you treat her, it's about how you treat everyone. She observes how you act when you think no one's watching, how you handle disagreements, and whether you live with integrity. She's not impressed by performative kindness or selective courtesy. If your respect is conditional or transactional, she'll see right through it. Play it cheap, and you'll lose her faster than you can realize your mistake. Show genuine respect, and you might just earn the chance to understand her world. For her, respect isn't optional. It's the only currency she trades in. Number 5. She's a lone wolf, not a lost one. A Sigma female is the ultimate lone wolf, not because she's isolated or struggling to find connections, but because she genuinely thrives on her own. Solitude for her isn't a sign of emptiness. It's a deliberate choice that fuels her growth, creativity, and inner peace. While others might fill their days with distractions or rely on constant social validation, she's perfectly content in her own company, using that time to reflect, plan, and recharge. This self-sufficiency often confuses people who equate solitude with loneliness. They assume she must be longing for companionship or trying to fill some void. But the truth is, she's already whole. Relationships to her aren't about completing something that's missing. They're about adding value to an already fulfilling life. If you can't respect her independence or try to position yourself as someone she needs, you're only proving that you don't understand her. The Sigma female doesn't attach herself to people out of fear of being alone. She chooses her connections carefully, ensuring they align with her values and goals. This means she doesn't chase after anyone, tolerate toxic behavior, or compromise her standards just to maintain a relationship. She knows the difference between being alone and being lonely, and she'd rather stand on her own than settle for less. If you try to manipulate her by creating dependency or playing on her emotions, she'll sense it immediately. Instead of clinging to you, she'll distance herself without hesitation. Her autonomy is non-negotiable. and anyone who challenges it is quickly removed from her world. Being with a Sigma female means understanding that she doesn't need you to feel complete. She chooses you because she wants you there, and that distinction makes all the difference. Number 6. Emotional intelligence is her superpower. A Sigma female's emotional intelligence isn't just sharp, it's her superpower. While others might miss subtle cues or take words at face value, she's constantly attuned to the unspoken layers beneath every interaction. Her ability to read people is almost unsettling. She doesn't just hear what you're saying, she feels what you're not saying. Before you've even finished your sentence, she's already dissected your tone, body language, and the intent behind your words. If you think you're playing her, you're only fooling yourself. She's already mapped out your emotional playbook, pinpointed your insecurities, and predicted your next move. This isn't about manipulation or cynicism, it's about self-preservation and clarity. She doesn't waste time second-guessing. She sees things for what they are, not what someone wants her to believe. Her emotional intelligence also gives her a profound understanding of her own feelings. Unlike those who suppress or deny their emotions, she embraces them, processes them, and uses them as tools for growth. This self-awareness makes her immune to most emotional traps. Guilt trips, they won't work. Emotional blackmail, she'll see it coming from a mile away. She's too grounded to be swayed by superficial tactics or emotional theatrics. This doesn't mean she's cold or detached, far from it. She can empathize deeply and connect authentically, but only with those who are genuine. If your intentions are pure, she'll recognize and appreciate it. But if you approach her with deception, she'll dismantle your strategy with a calm precision that leaves you exposed. When dealing with a Sigma female, remember this: you can't outmaneuver someone who understands emotions better than you do, including your own. Her emotional intelligence isn't just a strength, it's her safeguard, her guide, and her quiet power. Number 7. She doesn't fear loss, she masters it. Loss is a concept that rattles most people, but not a Sigma female. She doesn't fear it because she's already mastered it. For her, loss isn't an ending, it's a natural part of growth. She understands that life often requires letting go of people, situations, and even parts of herself that no longer serve her purpose or align with her values. This ability to release what holds her back isn't weakness, it's her greatest strength. When faced with loss, she doesn't cling or crumble. Instead, she assesses the situation with clarity and makes peace with it. She doesn't waste time mourning what was never meant to stay. Whether it's a toxic relationship, a missed opportunity, or an unforeseen challenge, she lets go with a grace that's both admirable and intimidating. This resilience is rooted in her deep self-awareness. She knows that her worth isn't tied to external circumstances or other people. Because she's unafraid of loss, manipulators have no leverage over her. Threats to walk away, withhold affection, or withdraw support fall flat because she's already made peace with the possibility of being on her own. You can't control someone who doesn't rely on external validation or fear being left behind. Her ability to move forward isn't just about survival, it's about thriving. Every loss becomes a lesson, every ending a new beginning. She doesn't dwell on the past or hold grudges. She takes the experience, learns from it, and grows stronger. By the time you realize you've underestimated her, she's already miles ahead, leaving you to wonder how she managed to turn what you thought would break her into a stepping stone. With a Sigma female, loss isn't a defeat, it's a transformation, and that's what makes her truly unstoppable. Number 8. You can't control someone who doesn't need control. Control is a game the Sigma female simply doesn't play. She lives in a space where traditional power dynamics hold no weight because she doesn't seek control over others, nor does she allow anyone to hold control over her. She's self-governed, emotionally independent, and operates on an internal compass that's unshakable. Her decisions come from a place of clarity and intention, not from pressure or manipulation, making her untouchable to those who thrive on dominance. You can't intimidate her, cajole her, or manipulate her into submission because she doesn't need anyone's approval to validate her choices. While others might compromise their authenticity to avoid conflict or gain favor, she refuses to bend to external expectations. Attempting to control her will only push her further away, as she values her freedom above all else. What's truly unsettling for those who try to dominate her is her complete disinterest in the power struggle itself. She doesn't engage in one-upmanship or play the game of who's in charge because she sees it for what it is, a waste of time. Her lack of interest in controlling others is often mistaken for passivity, but it's actually the opposite. Her autonomy is so deeply rooted that she doesn't need to prove it to anyone. Trying to control a Sigma female is like trying to harness the wind, impossible and futile. She's fluid, adaptable, and always moving forward, slipping through the grasp of anyone who attempts to box her in. Her strength lies not in fighting for power, but in transcending it altogether. If you think you can corner her or dictate her path, you'll quickly find yourself left behind, wondering how she managed to outmaneuver you without even breaking a sweat. Number 9. Her silence is a weapon, not a weakness. When a Sigma female goes silent, don't mistake it for hesitation or uncertainty. It's a tactical decision, one born from a deep understanding of the situation at hand. Her silence is not a weakness or a sign of defeat. It's a weapon she wields with precision. While others might react impulsively, she's busy observing, analyzing, and calculating her next move. She understands the power of withholding her words, knowing that sometimes saying nothing speaks louder than anything she could say. Her ability to stay quiet in the face of provocation or manipulation is often unsettling to those around her. They'll wonder why she hasn't responded or tried to win the situation. But the truth is, she doesn't need to. She's already several steps ahead, quietly weighing her options. Her silence gives her the space to process her emotions, assess her surroundings, and figure out the best way to move forward, all without the pressure of immediate reaction. What most people don't realize is that when she's silent, she's not just waiting, she's working. She's taking in everything: the words, the body language, the underlying tension, and the intent behind the actions of those around her. By withholding her response, she removes herself from the emotional chaos, keeping control over the situation. You'll never see her next move coming because she's so deliberate and composed that by the time you realize she's made a decision, it's already been executed flawlessly. Her silence isn't empty. It's full of power and purpose. She's not retreating. She's recalibrating. And when she speaks or acts, it will be with unmatched clarity and impact. If you think her silence means you've won, think again. You're simply witnessing the calm before the storm. Number 10. The uncomfortable truth. The uncomfortable truth is this: if you think you're playing a Sigma female, the odds are you're not even in the game. While you're busy plotting your next move, she's already redefined the rules and effortlessly moved past you. She's the kind of person who never requires validation or external recognition. So, if you're looking for ways to outsmart her, you're likely just an extra in a much bigger narrative she's already written for herself. You might be convinced that you're the one pulling the strings, but in reality, she's already anticipated your actions, processed your motives, and adjusted accordingly. The difference is that you're still stuck in the game, unaware that she's already moved on to the next chapter, one that doesn't involve you. Her world is vast and ever-evolving, and you're simply a blip in her story that she's more than capable of moving on from without breaking a sweat. Her ability to remain calm, strategic, and emotionally independent means that she can let you think you're in control while she quietly executes her own plan. This can be frustrating, especially for those who thrive on dominance or control, because the Sigma female doesn't even need to compete. She's already won by refusing to play the same tired games everyone else is so obsessed with. So while you're busy trying to outplay her, she's probably already outmaneuvered you. And the worst part? You don't even know it. That's the true power of the Sigma female. She doesn't need to prove anything. She simply lives life on her terms, and if you're lucky, you might catch a glimpse of the greatness that unfolds around her. Otherwise, you're left to wonder how you got left behind. In the end, the Sigma female is not a riddle to be solved or a challenge to be conquered. She's a force to be respected and understood on her own terms. Her strength lies not in what she proves to others, but in the quiet confidence she holds within herself. She doesn't seek validation, she doesn't play games, and she certainly doesn't need anyone to define her. Her silence speaks volumes, her independence is her foundation, and her ability to navigate the world with grace and strategy leaves a lasting impression on anyone who encounters her. If you truly want to engage with a Sigma female, forget about manipulation or dominance. Instead, approach her with the same authenticity, respect, and self-awareness that she offers in return. Only then will you begin to understand the depth of her power. But don't expect to control her or keep her confined to your limited view of who she should be. She's already mastered the art of letting go, moving forward, and building her own path. So, the next time you think you're playing her, remember this. It's not her you're up against. It's the person you need to become to be worthy of her attention. And that, my friend, is the game you'll never win unless you learn to respect the rules she's set. Not just for herself, but for the world around her. If you found this insight into the Sigma female intriguing, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more thought-provoking content. Show some love by liking this video and leave a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts or experiences, and if you think this could resonate with someone else, be sure to share it. Let's keep the conversation going, and I'll see you in the next one.